Has directed outlets countrywide to stop the distribution of Benylin, a popular brand of children's cough syrup. Benylin is a product of South African-based pharmaceutical company Johnson & Johnson. For more on this, I'm joined by Dr. Karim Wanga, Head of Post-Marketing Surveillance, Pharmacy and Poisons Board. Many thanks for joining us, Daktari. What prompted the Pharmacy Board of Kenya to ban Benylin Pediatric?
Yes, so the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, as you know, it is the national regulatory authority that regulates medicines in Kenya. We got information from our sister agency, or the agency from Nigeria, that is the NAFDAC. They had issued a medical product alert to recall Benylin Pediatric 100 ml syrup based on laboratory findings that found that it had contained unacceptable higher levels of a contaminant called the ethylene glycol. So this information was available on public platforms. However, we did our own due diligence to reach out to the agency in Nigeria through the DG, and we were able to authenticate that information. And they confirmed that indeed their laboratory analysis of this particular batch, and I repeat, it's a batch, it's not the entire Benylin Pediatric 100 ml. It's a batch 329304. So analysis of this found that those the levels of the contaminant were beyond the acceptable limits, and based on that they did a recall from that market of Nigeria. And because within PPB or Pharmacy Board, we also have a policy called Reliance, we were able to apply that policy to be able to adopt the decision that was made in Nigeria, to also apply that decision here, especially after checking and realizing that the same batch that was being recalled in Nigeria had actually been imported into Kenya way back in 2021.
So the same batch had been imported to Kenya, but were there any specific concerns or incidents locally that led to this decision, away from the batch having been present here in the Kenyan market?
So we have not received any feedback from the market or from the healthcare workers or from members of the public for any incidents or any adverse events. We have a very robust system of receiving feedback, both from the public and healthcare workers. So for this particular issue, we have never received any feedback. But however, the issue of contamination of cough syrups is not a new issue. We remember what happened in the Gambia, and some children were died. So we have been alert, and indeed we have been carrying out active surveillance. We have been proactive and looking at the market, sampling and checking across different formulations of cough syrups in the market. So it's an issue that has been on our table, and we have been alert, just looking out for any information, and also based on our own market surveillance to detect any of these issues that have been there. And so far, our market has been good. Compliance has been 100%, except for this new information that we have received from Nigeria.
Yeah, and how will this ban, Daktari, affect access to cough medication for children in Kenya? I mean, what alternatives are available?
Yeah, so we have many cough preparations that are registered to be marketed on Kenyan market. Benylin is just one of the brands or the products that are marketed in Kenya. So there are limitless options, very many alternatives for our patients, for our children who need cough preparations, and therefore we are not worried that there will be any shortage. And indeed, again, this alert is specific to this batch that is impacted. That means other batches that are available in the market can still be accessed by the public. However, for the consignment that the agent, the local technical agent, has imported into the country and is still in their warehouse, that one we have put it under quarantine. We have sampled already, and the samples are in the laboratory to screen, so that based on the analysis of those results, again, we'll make further decisions and we'll be able to advise the public.
The potential health risks that led to this ban, because there are perhaps some parents that are already administering the same batch that you're talking to their children, and perhaps are only learning of this information now. So looking at Nigeria and the reports you have from them, the potential health risks posed by this particular product, what are those?
Yeah, so as I had said, the contaminant is called diethylene glycol. So during manufacturing of cough preparations, there are some raw materials that are used, and I can just mention one. It's called sorbitol. Another one is called glycerin. These raw materials have potential of being contaminated with a contaminant called diethylene glycol, which is toxic when consumed by human beings. And the main toxicity for diethylene glycol is actually what we call nephrotoxicity. It affects the kidneys. It's toxic to the kidneys. And therefore, it can lead to what we call acute kidney injury. And of course, patients will manifest symptoms of acute kidney injury.
And has the manufacturer responded to the ban? And if so, what is their stance, as well as what are the ongoing discussions, or initiatives to address the concerns that led to this ban, such as reformulating the medication or conducting further safety studies?
Yes, so we have been in touch with the local agent. We have also reached out to the manufacturer Johnson & Johnson. As at the time we have reached out, which was yesterday, to Johnson & Johnson, they confirmed that they have not received formal communication from NAFDAC. So maybe just to paint the picture is that as a regulator, we do our own independent surveillance of products that are on our market. And that includes sampling and testing. So NAFDAC went out to sample on the market, and they analyzed, and they found out that this product did not comply with their specifications, and therefore they took action. But Johnson & Johnson has confirmed that as at yesterday, they had not received official communication from NAFDAC on this issue. And they confirmed that immediately they're able to receive official communication, again, they'll be able to relay that information to the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. However, we are not waiting for Johnson & Johnson to communicate. We are in touch with NAFDAC for any information that may arise, but we're also doing our own independent analysis to be able to make our own decision, as an independent authority and also as a sovereign country.
Right. Dr. Karim Wanga, Head of Post-Marketing Surveillance, Pharmacy and Poisons Board, we thank you so much for your time and for your update as regards the ban of Benylin Pediatric here in Kenya. Many thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.